Ladies and gentlemen, every morning when you wake up, remember this. You were born for a purpose. Not just to get by, not just to drift through another day, but to leave your mark, to bring something to life that nobody else can. Deep inside you lies potential, a force waiting to be unleashed. Don't ignore that voice telling you you're destined for more. Too many let that voice fade, settle for safe, shrink from pursuits that scare them. But greatness, it isn't found in comfort. It's discovered in the fire, tested in the heat, forged in the pressure. You've got dreams, not casual aspirations, visions that stir in your heart, ideas that excite you in the silence before dawn. Those aren't accidents. Those sparks inside you are signs, signals of the possibilities of your life. They're too important to silence. I want you to lock in on them. Give them priority over doubts, fear, and the endless chatter telling you to wait until you're ready. That moment in the future you won't ever feel ready. Real courage is stepping forward when every sign says you better wait. If you wait for readiness, you'll wait forever. Instead, leap, learn, adjust, embrace the doing. Start your day with intention, not just another cup of coffee or mindless scroll, but purposeful action. Read something that challenges you. Journal about your vision. Declare what you intend to create. Let those intentions set your trajectory. Move your body, honor your health. Remember that discipline in small things builds consistency in big things. Life responds to habits. Life rewards the daily grind. You don't get to success by big splashes only, but by showing up every day, putting in the work, earning your ground. Your mind matters. Feed it with truth, with challenge, with light. Guard it from everything else. The world will try to fill your head with noise, comparison, fear, distraction. But your mind is your battlefield. It's where wars of belief are fought. Every negative thought you allow in creeps into actions, undermines your potential. Every belief you affirm builds your future. Your thoughts are architects. If you feed your mind with your goal, your dreams, your capacity, then you'll shape your actions around them. If you feed it excuses and doubt, that's where you'll stay. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be determined. Perfection kills forward motion. Instead, pursue excellence. The habit of getting better. Even if it's 5% today, 5% tomorrow, over months and years that becomes staggering transformation. Because excellence compounds. Show up, work, learn from the work, refine, repeat. Eliminate pride in protecting yourself from vulnerability. Show people what you're becoming. Learn from criticism. Surround yourself with those who challenge you, who lift you, who demand your best. Don't taint your environment with negative energy. You are the average of the people closest to you. If they don't feed your vision, they'll drain it. Expect failure. If you're smart, you'll expect it, and plan for it. Failure isn't a stop sign, it's a guidepost. It means you're trying something that matters. Failure lets you learn faster. Treat it like that, study it, change your approach. Failure is a resource, not a burden. People who claim they've never failed, they're either still waiting to begin or they're lying. Every success story has chapters of setbacks, sacrifices, nights when you doubt your path. Those are the times that define you. Show yourself what you're made of. Let the fire of your fight outshine the fear of falling. Let gratitude be your foundation. I'm not talking about forced cheer or delusional positivity. I'm talking about the awareness of where you've come from, the sacrifices others made, the challenges that were stepping stones, the opportunity of today. When you stand on the shoulders of someone who believed in you, whisper a simple thank you. Gratitude anchors humility, and humility anchors growth. It keeps your eyes looking forward, not so dazzled by success or paralyzed by prospects, just grateful for the chance to try, serve, make your vision bigger than yourself. Real power isn't how much you make, it's what you make possible for others. When you pour yourself for a mission greater than self, your light goes further. You build not just wealth and status, but significance. And when the storms hit, when fatigue weighs heavy, significance gives you root. It makes you do the next right thing even when it costs you. Set goals, not based on what you can handle, but based on what you deserve. Shoot higher than you're comfortable with. Answer the question, If everything falls into place, what can you achieve? Then give it everything. Plan. Break it into milestones. Let those milestones fuel your weeks. Train you will so it's stronger than your feelings when the alarm goes off. Turn I can't into how. When you run out of answers, ask for help, read, study, refine, stay curious. Curious people adapt, stubborn people fail. Make decisiveness your ally. Indecision eats your future. Be known for clarity, not hesitation, not waiting for all the answers. A good decision now beats a perfect decision later. You'll steer along the way. Adjust, navigate, redirect, but moving means life. Pausing too long, that leads nowhere. Live with integrity. Say what you mean, do what you say. When your word becomes your bond, you become trust, and trust is everything. People will align with you, opportunities show up. Close doors only if you saw them coming. If someone bets on you, pay that in full. Excellence is not just in results, it's in your character. Character shines brightest when no one is watching. Cultivate resilience when life knocks you down, and it will. Don't just bounce back. Bounce forward, learn from the hit. Let it align you, then move with more clarity, deeper force. Remember, pressure doesn't destroy diamonds. It translates carbon into brilliance. Let your challenges polish you. Let your trials refine you. Your scars bear witness that you outlasted the pain. Wear them with quiet dignity, not as trophies, but as proof you endured. Speak less, do more. Action outmatches sound every single time. Too many people mouth plans that blow away in wind. You, let results be your voice. Do your work, produce impact. Let your actions honor your words. Others will notice. And when they do, they'll respect your work ethic, your grit, your focus. Be accountable, not hopeful. Hope is weak without responsibility. Wanting things doesn't get them. Taking ownership does. Own your mistakes, own your vision, own your time. Stop blaming circumstances or other people. Your life belongs to you. The power to change it belongs to you. That's a gift and a challenge. Push your limits hard. People admire consistency, but they can't stand predictable. Every now and then, surprise yourself, test your edge, you'll grow. The body you want for life won't show up in Sunday workouts only. The mind you want for destiny won't grow in comfort zones only. Do things that feel slightly out of reach. Go outside of routine. Seek discomfort. Walk into tension areas and breathe through them. That's where growth lies. Visualize your victory, not as fleeting fantasy, but as concrete mental rehearsal. Imagine waking up in the morning of your success. What you're wearing, who you're sharing it with, how your body feels. Let that vision be your magnet when the work gets heavy. Then reverse. Engineer your steps, not just planning tasks, but planning your identity. Step into who you need to be in order to get there. It's not just about the work. It's about becoming the person who can do the work. Be patient and persistent. Years ahead may test your resolve. The world won't care about your timeline. It barely notices you taking longer. All it sees is your perseverance. When you're 10 times ready, they'll meet you. Until then, it's your responsibility to hold the line. Don't compare your season to someone else's highlight reel. Trust your march, stay committed to the process, keep the faith, celebrate the small win. Every time you complete a module, reach a mile, close a meeting, finish a chapter, take a moment. You didn't get here by accident. That progress matters. Those small pieces add up until one day you turn around and see you're miles ahead of where you started. But keep going. There's still more ground to cover, and you still have more greatness to own. Speak kindly to yourself, to others. What you say to yourself matters. Words echo in your soul. If your inner voice is harsh, it'll break you before the world drops a blow. So build yourself up. Encourage when it's hard. Speak hope when it's dark. Speak to others with generosity. Be the one who affirms, who raises. The world needs more builders, less critics. Hold on to hope. Not false hope, but resolve-fed hope. Hope that says, I will find a way, and not I wish I could. Hope that compels action. Hope born out of sacrifice, not fantasy. When storms knock at your door, let that hope open it for you. Step through with courage. Know that your life is a story. a powerful one. You're the author. So write it with intention, with courage, with rage at wasting the gift of a single breath. Don't allow blank pages. Fill them with excellence. Fill them with love. Fill them with impact. Let your story draw others to greatness. Let your footsteps on the mountain be evidence that the climb was worth it. Everything you need is inside you, the vision, the grit, the heart. It might be gritty, imperfect, prone to fear, but it's yours. Take it, own it, sharpen it. Show up for it every day, wrestle it into becoming, and one day, when you look at what you've built, the chance you took will be all the proof you need that you were never meant to be small. You were meant to be seen. You were meant to glow. Let your life reflect that every single day. Every person walking this earth has something unique inside of them. A fire, a purpose, a vision meant to shape the way they live and how they leave their mark. It's not about luck. It's not about chance. It's not even about opportunity always showing up at your door. It's about understanding that deep inside of you, there is something placed with intention. A seed, a reason, something only you can carry, that's purpose, that's vision, and once you discover that, once you become honest enough to say, this is what I was made to do, you start to walk with a different posture. You move with conviction. You stop wandering aimlessly through life, and you start living with clarity, with boldness, with direction. People lose themselves when they lose sight of why they started. They drift when they forget what they were built for. That's how distraction creeps in, how confusion gets a foothold. Because when you don't know your purpose, you chase everything. You get pulled into trends, into other people's plans, into whatever sounds good in the moment. But when you know who you are and what you're here for, you stop chasing noise. You start choosing wisely. You learn to say no to things that look good but don't serve your calling. You become dangerous in the best way because you're focused. You're locked in. You're not wasting time. Your vision is the picture of your purpose in motion. It's not just an idea. It's a future you can see in your mind. You feel it in your bones before anyone else sees it. That vision is yours. Maybe people around you don't get it yet. Maybe they even laugh at it, ignore it, question it. Doesn't matter. Vision isn't a group project. Vision is personal. It's a divine assignment that wakes you up early and keeps you up late. You don't need everyone to see it. Just you. You need to believe in it enough to take that first step. And then the next, and the next. Too often, people wait for external permission to live out their purpose. They wait for applause, for likes, for a guarantee, but real purpose. It doesn't wait for permission. It moves, it risks. It speaks before the echo. You might have to walk alone sometimes. You might have to take steps without support. But if your purpose is real, if it's burning in your chest, you won't stop, not because it's easy, but because you can't imagine your life without it. That's how you know it's yours. Now understand this. Your purpose doesn't mean comfort. It doesn't mean the absence of doubt or fear. In fact, the more powerful your vision, the more resistance you're going to face. The more it matters, the more life will test your commitment to it. Purpose is proven in pressure. That's when the question shows up. Do you want this badly enough to fight for it when it's hard, when no one's watching, when you're tired, discouraged, questioning everything? That's when your answer matters most. Not when things are going well, but when nothing makes sense. Can you still move? Can you still create? Can you still believe? Because purpose without discipline becomes potential never realized, and vision without effort is just fantasy. You don't get what you want, you get what you work for, you get what you sacrifice for. You get what you wake up every day committed to, even when your emotions scream for comfort. Purpose will cost you something. It will cost you sleep. It will cost you relationships that no longer serve your growth. It will cost you excuses, but what you gain in return, alignment, fulfillment, a legacy that echoes after you're gone. Too many people bury their purpose under fear. They trade their vision for safety. They talk themselves out of the very thing they were born to do. They shrink because someone once told them they couldn't. Don't let that be you. Don't silence the fire in you because you're afraid of failing. You're going to fail sometimes. That's not the question. The question is, will you stay committed after failure? Will you rise again with clarity, not confusion? because the pursuit of purpose will make you resilient. It'll make you bold. It'll stretch your capacity beyond what you thought was possible. And here's the thing about purpose. It's not always loud. It doesn't always show up with fanfare. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it starts small, a burden, a thought, a simple moment when you know, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And from that moment you build. Brick by brick, day by day, step by step. You don't need a grand stage to begin. You don't need to have all the answers. Just take the next step. The staircase will appear as you climb. Vision doesn't guarantee comfort, but it guarantees direction. And when you have direction, you stop living passively. You stop allowing the world to decide your worth. You stop measuring your success against other people's timelines. You become rooted in your assignment. And when you're rooted, you become unshakable. Life can hit you with setbacks, delays, betrayals. But your foundation holds, your purpose remains, because it was never about what's happening around you. It's always been about what's burning within you. That's why you've got to protect it. You've got to nurture it. Don't let environments that don't understand your purpose water it down. Don't spend your energy explaining your vision to people who don't want to see it. Keep it close, guard it, build it, let the results speak, let the fruit show, because eventually people won't ask what you're doing. They'll ask how you did it, and you'll smile, not because it was easy, but because you knew what you were called to do and you did it anyway. Purpose and vision won't always feel good, but they'll always feel right. You'll feel aligned, you'll feel peace, even in pain. You'll know you're living in your lane, and when you live there, everything changes. Your time becomes sacred. Your energy becomes focused. Your decisions become clear. You stop living for attention. You start living for intention. You stop waiting to be chosen. You start realizing you already were. The moment that fire sparked in you, that was the moment your path began. You just have to walk it. With courage, with focus, with grit, no matter how long it takes, no matter who believes in you, because this isn't about them. This is about the reason you were born, and that reason deserves everything you've got. Success doesn't arrive wrapped in luck or handed out to the most talented. It comes to those who show up, stay ready, and keep moving no matter what. Discipline, action, and consistency. Those are the real cornerstones. You want results. You want to build something that lasts. Then you've got to make a decision every single day to work, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one's watching, even when it feels like nothing is changing. You have to choose the path that's hard in the moment, but pays off down the line, because the easy road leads to regret. But the disciplined road, the committed road, that leads to legacy. Discipline is doing what you said you'd do long after the feeling you said it in has left. That means on the days when motivation is gone, when the alarm clock feels heavier than ever, when your body says rest and your mind says quit, you still show up, you still honor your commitment, because discipline isn't about inspiration, it's about identity. It's who you become through the habit of self-control, through the decision to act in alignment with your goals, not your feelings. Every time you honor that commitment, you prove to yourself that you're trustworthy. You begin to build confidence, not the kind based on applause, but the kind that can't be shaken, because it's built on consistency. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. You can write down your vision all you want. You can talk about your goals every single day, but until you act, until you move, nothing changes. Talk is cheap. Action is costly, and that's why few people ever take it, because it demands something. It demands effort, time, vulnerability. It means stepping into spaces where you might fail, but success doesn't come without that risk. You can't think your way into results. You've got to move your way there. You've got to execute over and over again, whether the environment is ideal or not, whether people are supporting you or not, whether the progress is fast or painfully slow. Consistency is the secret nobody wants to talk about because it's not sexy. It's not glamorous, it's not quick. It's waking up and doing the work when you'd rather do anything else. It's writing the pages when nobody's reading. It's practicing the pitch when nobody's buying. It's putting in the reps when there's no crowd, no recognition, no paycheck yet. But consistency compounds. That little effort you apply daily, over time, becomes unstoppable force. The body doesn't transform overnight, but show up 6 days a week for 6 months, and the change will shock you. The business doesn't boom from one good idea, but build systems, serve people, show up consistently, and you will rise. That's how it works. And when you combine discipline with action and consistency, you become a different kind of person. You're no longer reactive, you're intentional. You don't need to rely on hype or temporary motivation. You've built systems into your life, you've created structure, you've become reliable, not just to others, but to yourself. And when you can trust yourself, when you know you're going to show up no matter what, you become powerful. You become dangerous in the best way. You stop needing outside validation because you've built an internal standard, a code you live by, a level of excellence you refuse to compromise on. Most people struggle because they wait for the perfect moment to begin. They want the stars to align. They want to feel ready. But the truth is, readiness is a lie. You'll never feel completely ready. You'll always have doubts. The conditions will never be perfect. That's why discipline matters. It ignores conditions. It acts anyway. It says, I'll move forward despite the discomfort. And that's what separates the doers from the dreamers. The dreamers stay stuck in preparation mode. The doers make moves. They fail, yes, but they learn, they adjust, they evolve, and over time they win. And here's something people don't understand. Discipline is freedom. It's not a cage. It's not a punishment. It's the path to a life that feels powerful. You want financial freedom that takes discipline with money. You want a healthy body that takes discipline with food, with sleep, with exercise. You want fulfilling relationships that takes discipline with your communication, with your time, with your ego. Discipline gives you control. It puts the steering wheel back in your hands, and once you have that, you stop drifting. You start driving with purpose. There will be moments you want to quit. There will be days where everything in you wants to slack off. That's human. But what separates the few who succeed from the masses who give up is simple. They do it anyway. They feel the resistance and still make the call, still show up to the gym, still write the content, still take the meeting, still honor the schedule. Because they've trained themselves to obey their principles, not their preferences. And when you do that long enough, you build momentum. You stop needing motivation. You become it. And understand this. Results will come, but not always on your timeline. This journey requires patience. People give up not because they can't do it, but because they stop too soon. They expect everything fast, but mastery doesn't happen in a week. Mastery happens when you've been consistent so long. People think it happened overnight. But you'll remember the early mornings, the sacrifices, the setbacks. You'll remember the days when nothing made sense, but you kept pushing anyway. And that's what will make the success so much sweeter. Stop waiting for someone to force you to change. Stop relying on outside pressure. Be your own accountability. Be your own reminder. Tell yourself who you are, then act like it, every day, whether you feel like it or not. Whether anyone claps for you or not. Whether the numbers are up or down. That's where true power lies, and the people who build anything meaningful. Whether it's a business, a brand, a book, a legacy, they all have one thing in common. They kept going when others quit. They stayed locked in on the process. They understood that discipline, action, and consistency don't just produce results. They shape character. They make you someone worth becoming, so you want to rise. Show up. You want to lead, execute. You want to win. Repeat the right behaviors over and over until the world can't ignore you. Because success isn't some mystery. It's not reserved for the elite. It's for the disciplined, the consistent, the ones who move with purpose, not emotion, the ones who make excellence their standard, not for a week, not for a month, but for as long as it takes. There are going to be times in your life when things don't go as planned, when the path you thought was clear suddenly disappears beneath your feet, when the people you counted on stop showing up, when everything you built starts to shake, and the weight of it all makes you question, whether you're strong enough to carry on. That's when resilience steps in. That's when you learn what you're really made of, not in the victories, not in the comfort, but in the fire, in the chaos, in the long nights and hard mornings when quitting seems like the most reasonable option. Resilience is the thing that keeps you upright when the storm is trying to knock you flat. It's the refusal to stay down. Everybody wants the win, but few are willing to endure the process. And the process will break you before it builds you. It will test your patience, your character, your commitment. You'll lose, you'll fall, you'll fail, again and again. But resilience says, this moment doesn't define me. It says, I'm more than this setback. It doesn't mean you never feel pain or disappointment. It means you never let those things have the final word. You bend, but you don't break. You fall, but you rise harder, smarter, and more focused. The world will try to convince you that your failure is your identity. But resilience tells the truth. Failure is feedback, not finality. And resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward. It's about using adversity as fuel, not as an excuse. Every time life throws a punch, you decide whether to crumble or to rise. You decide whether the pain will make you bitter or better. That's your choice. That's your responsibility. Nobody else can make that call for you. And the sooner you realize that, the stronger you become. Because the moment you stop blaming the world, the people, the timing, the circumstances, that's the moment you take your power back. Ownership is the twin of resilience. You cannot have one without the other. It means you take full responsibility for your life, your choices, your outcomes, your mindset. You stop waiting for a rescue. You stop looking for someone else to carry your burden. You recognize that, yes, life might have hit you hard. Yes, people may have wronged you, but your response is yours. Your healing is yours. Your progress is yours, and no one's coming to do it for you. Too many people spend their lives stuck in victim mode, repeating the same story of why they can't move forward, blaming everything and everyone for where they are. But that mindset keeps you stuck. It keeps you small. Ownership says, this might not be my fault, but it is my responsibility. That's maturity. That's power. That's how you shift your life. Not by complaining, but by confronting. Not by running, but by rising. You want change, take ownership. Not just of the good stuff. The wins, the progress, the breakthroughs. But also the failures, the laziness, the missed opportunities. Own the days you slacked. Own the times you knew better but didn't act. That's not weakness, that's strength. That's where real growth begins, because the moment you own it, you can change it. But you can't change what you won't face. Resilience and ownership together, that's a dangerous combination. That's what turns average people into legends. That's what separates those who merely survive from those who thrive. Life will test your resilience by throwing storms your way. But it will test your ownership by seeing how you respond. Will you make excuses or will you make moves? Will you retreat or will you rise? Will you blame or will you build? There's power in saying, I take full responsibility. It means you no longer give your power away. You're not waiting on your boss to treat you right, your partner to believe in you, your friends to support you. You move regardless. You grow regardless. You evolve regardless. That's ownership. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Understand this. Resilience isn't inherited. It's built. It's built in the quiet moments when you choose to show up after a loss. It's built in the days when your body's sore, your mind's tired, and still you give it one more push. It's built through tears, through rejection, through failure that stings so deep you wonder if you'll ever heal. But you do. And when you do, you carry the kind of strength that nobody can take from you. You weren't born to be fragile. You were built for adversity. That doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It means pain won't stop you. You'll grieve, you'll fall apart sometimes, but you'll keep moving. That's resilience. Not perfection, not endless positivity, but the gritty refusal to give up. And the same goes for ownership. It's not about shame or guilt. It's about awareness and agency. It's about asking yourself, what could I have done differently? Not from a place of self-judgment, but from a place of growth. Every hard moment in your life is an opportunity to lead yourself better. Every failure is a lesson if you're humble enough to learn. Every setback is a setup if you take ownership of the next step. People will try to put their baggage on you. They'll try to make you carry their blame, their bitterness. Don't pick it up. You've got enough to handle building your own life. Let others own their story while you own yours. Don't waste time trying to fix what's not your responsibility. Focus on what you can control, your attitude, your habits, your response. You build resilience by pushing through what was meant to break you. You build ownership by refusing to hand your life over to excuses. You become the person who doesn't fold under pressure, who doesn't wait to be rescued, who doesn't complain about the rain, but learns to dance in it. And people like that, they rise, they win, because they understand that pain is part of the process, but perseverance is a choice. And when you make that choice again and again, you change. You grow calluses where there used to be wounds. You speak with clarity instead of confusion. You walk into rooms knowing you've already survived more than what's in front of you. You operate from power, not from fear. You stop waiting for the world to be fair, and you start being fierce anyway. So when the challenges come, and they will, you don't panic, you don't fold, you remember who you are, you lean into the storm, you take ownership of the moment. You don't just bounce back, you bounce forward. Stronger, wiser, more focused. Because resilience and ownership, they don't just change your path, they change your identity. They shape you into someone the world has no choice but to respect. Legacy isn't about how loud your name echoes when you're in the room. It's about what remains when you leave it. It's about how people speak of you when you're not there. And that kind of legacy, real, lasting, meaningful, it's not built through attention or applause. It's built through character, through integrity, and through service. That's what lasts. That's what matters. Everything else fades. Everything else passes. But the way you carry yourself, the way you show up for others, the way you treat people even when there's nothing in it for you, that's what stays behind when you're gone. That's what speaks when your voice is no longer in the room. Character is who you are when no one's watching. It's not the version of you people see on a stage, in a meeting, on a screen. It's who you are in silence, in the shadows, when the lights are off and there's no one left to impress. That's where real character lives, and if your character is weak, nothing you build will last. Because talent can open the door, but only character will keep you in the room. People can be fooled by charm for a moment, but over time, truth always shows. Who you are eventually reveals itself. That's why character has to be your foundation. You've got to be rooted in values, in principle, in something deeper than popularity or profit. Character means you don't cut corners just because nobody's looking. It means you don't take shortcuts even if it's easier. It means you tell the truth even when it costs you something. You keep your word, you own your mistakes, you do what's right. Not what's easy, not what's convenient, but what's right. And if you do that long enough, people will trust you. Not just for your skills, but for your spirit. They'll know your name not because it's loud, but because it's solid, reliable, steady. When everything else shakes, people look for someone who won't flinch. Be that person, and that kind of person always operates with integrity. Integrity isn't a performance. It's a posture. It's how you carry yourself, how you lead, how you make decisions when there's no reward in sight. Integrity means your inside matches your outside. It means you're not playing a part, you're living with purpose. You don't say one thing and do another. You don't smile in someone's face while plotting behind their back. You don't need to manipulate to move forward, because you understand the truth is enough. The truth will always stand. When you live with integrity, people may not always like you, but they will always respect you. And that's far more valuable than being liked. Respect is earned through consistency, through honesty, through the courage to stand alone when you have to. Integrity won't always be popular. It might cost you opportunities. It might mean walking away from deals, from relationships, from situations that go against your values. But if you keep your integrity, you keep your soul. And that's something no amount of money or influence can replace. Now take it further, add service to that equation, because real legacy isn't just what you build for yourself. It's what you build for others. It's how you use your strength to lift someone else. It's what you give back, not just what you take. Serving doesn't make you weak. It makes you powerful in the right way. It means you understand that your success isn't just for you. Your blessing isn't meant to stop with you. It's meant to flow through you. So you find ways to pour into others. You mentor, you give, you build, you elevate, not because you want credit, but because you remember what it felt like to need help, to need a voice, to need someone to believe in you. Service is how you stay grounded. It reminds you that life is bigger than your schedule, your goals, your platform. It brings you back to what matters. It reminds you that people matter, that what you do for the least of these reflects who you really are. And when you serve from the heart, without needing recognition, you impact people in ways you may never fully see. That's what legacy is. It's not always the buildings or the trophies. Sometimes it's the way you made someone feel. The encouragement you gave, the time you sacrificed, the space you created for someone else to rise. People remember how you made them feel far longer than they remember what you said. They remember how you showed up in hard times, how you responded when they needed grace, how you treated the person who couldn't do anything for you. That's the stuff that sticks. That's the mark that doesn't wash away. It doesn't matter how brilliant your strategy is, or how skilled you are in your field. If you lack character, integrity, and service, your influence will be short-lived. Because people may admire your success, but they'll follow your heart. You want to leave something behind, then live in a way that people want to emulate. Live with such clarity, with such honor, with such humility, that others want to rise to that level. Be a standard bearer. Be someone who doesn't just chase success, but someone who defines it differently. Someone who understands that true greatness isn't about being first. It's about making it easier for others to follow. It's about being excellent not just in what you do, but in how you do it, in how you lead, how you love, how you serve. Every interaction you have is an opportunity to either build or break trust. Choose wisely, because it adds up. Over time, those moments create a pattern, and patterns create reputation, and reputation, whether you want it or not, becomes your legacy. So decide right now what kind of legacy you're going to leave. Decide what kind of person you want to be remembered as, not just when you're successful, but when you're tested, when you're tired, when you're tempted. That's where the real you comes out. Live in a way that your absence is felt, not because you were loud, but because you were light. Because you made things better, because you stood for something real, because you made people better by being in their lives. You don't need to be famous to leave a legacy. You don't need to be rich. You need to be faithful to your values, to your principles, to your purpose. You need to be someone who builds, who believes, who serves without ego. So let your life be bigger than your title. Let your name carry more than noise. Let it carry weight. Let people feel your integrity in your decisions. Let them see your character in how you treat them. Let them benefit from your service long after you're gone. Because when the titles fade and the applause stops, what's left is the person you were. And that's the part that lasts. That's the part they'll never forget.